Welcome back to our weekly newsletter on the economy, where we bring you the latest updates on business and economic trends. Today, I will take you on a journey through this week's newsletter. To receive our weekly newsletter and stay informed on the latest economic developments, simply follow our website in the description below. Let's get started. Our first story revolves around China's automotive industry, which has shown steady growth. According to the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, China's auto production and sales increased by 7.4% and 7.9% year-on-year in the first 7 months of this year, respectively. Moving on to Europe, European Commissioner for Economic Affairs Paolo Gentiloni discusses what he calls Europe's double crisis. This crisis, sparked by Russia's invasion of Ukraine, has impacted both geopolitics and the European economy. Despite initial fears of a significant economic slowdown, Europe has managed to secure alternative energy sources and provide relief to consumers facing high energy costs. The euro area even outpaced the US and China with a 3.5% growth rate in 2022. Our third story highlights the significant impact of e-commerce on Italian businesses. A recent study reveals an impressive 8.8% increase in turnover and an 8.1% boost in exports, with small and medium-sized enterprises reaping the most benefits. They saw a remarkable 9.3% increase in turnover and 3% rise in exports. Italian online companies reported a staggering 48 billion euros in transactions and 71 billion euros in turnover. Now let's turn our attention to Turkey, where we see a mixed picture in exports. The export unit value index decreased by 2.1%, but the export volume index increased by a robust 10.6% in July. Now we focus on the urgent need for carbon neutrality. European Central Bank Vice President Luis de Guindos stresses the importance of swift and decisive action to combat climate change. He highlights the ECB's economy-wide climate stress test, which assesses climate risks' impact on companies, households, and the financial system. He believes that transitioning to carbon neutrality is not only a moral imperative, but also a cost-effective strategy to protect our planet and economies. We turn our attention to Hungary's industrial production, which faced a 2.6% year-on-year dip in July 2023. However, on a month-on-month basis, production rose by 2.8%. These figures shed light on the challenges and fluctuations in Hungary's industrial sector. Let's look at the euro area's economic performance in the second quarter. The GDP saw a modest growth of 0.1%, while employment experienced a 0.2% increase. These figures provide insights into the evolving economic landscape of the euro area. Our next news delves into the Montenegro's trade statistics. The country's goods trade witnessed an impressive 8.6% growth. However, it is essential to note that while exports declined by 3.6%, imports surged by 11.3%. Moving on to the housing market, we have some critical insights for 2023. Mortgage rates have soared, surpassing 7.23%, leading to a 2.2% decline in existing monthly home sales in July, a 6-month low. High prices and constrained inventory continue to challenge affordability. The Federal Reserve's 11th rate increase since March 2022 is pushing 30-year fixed rates, with experts predicting rates above 6% for the year. To support recovery, higher income inventories and gradual rate reduction are necessary. Our 10th story highlights the significant rise in online shopping transactions in South Korea, with a remarkable 9.1% increase from July 2022. This shift in consumer behavior reflects the evolving digital landscape in South Korea. We turn our attention to Norway's inflation rate, which eased to 17-month low, falling to 4.8% in August from 5.4% the previous month. This decline below market expectations of 5.3% was driven by significant decreases in housing and utilities costs. Now let's explore Slovakia's industrial sector, which includes auto manufacturing and steel production. In July, it experienced the most substantial shrinkage in 6 months, decreasing by 5.3%. The primary influence came from a significant 6.4% drop in the manufacture of transport equipment. Our next story brings us to Turkey again, where the unemployment rate dropped to 9.4% in July, accompanied by a gain of 318,000 jobs. These figures indicate positive developments in Turkey's labor market. Let's address the pressing need for investment in Europe's power grids to support the transition to clean energy. The European Commission estimates that €584 billion in investment will be required to meet renewable targets by 2030. The European Investment Bank is set to play a pivotal role, mobilizing €1 trillion for the energy transition through financing and advisory services. And we focus on the EU textile and clothing industry in the first quarter. And the sector faced challenges with a 4% decline in production and exports due to market conditions and weak demand. However, there was a positive aspect with a 2% growth rate in the labor market. These insights reflect the industry's resilience amid global challenges. We turn our focuses to Croatia, where producer prices of industrial products for the total industry witnessed an increase of 0.7% compared to July and a notable rise of 2.6% when compared to August 2022. These figures reflect the evolving economic landscape in Croatia. Our next news highlights the surge in consumer prices in Luxembourg, soaring by 1.5% month-on-month. This increase has led to a 2.5% wage hike in September, impacting the living standards of Luxembourgers. We delve into a significant analysis by the European Trade Union Confederation, revealing that shareholder dividend payouts in Europe have surged 13 times faster than workers' pay. Countries like Portugal and Denmark saw dividends increase by 75% and 66% respectively between April and June, while nominal employee compensation rose by just 6% and 5%. Across Europe, dividends rose by 10%, double the rate of wage increases, reaching a record $184.5 billion. This analysis sheds light on the growing disparity between shareholders and the workers. Going to Germany, where we explore the work habits of Germans. On average, Germans work 17% of their working hours from home, with variations among industries. Remote work has become ingrained in the culture, with approximately 25% of employees opting for remote work. Hybrid work models are gaining popularity, reshaping the future of work in Germany. We shift our attention to Eastern Europe, where angel investors are increasingly showing interest in the venture capital markets of Bulgaria, Romania, and Hungary. Despite the relatively smaller size of these economies, these markets are capturing the attention of investors. With less standardized investment stages and less sophisticated funds compared to the Western counterparts, the region presents both challenges and opportunities. As small companies seek capital, angel investors are exploring this emerging landscape. Our next story takes us to Egypt, where the yearly inflation rate has reached a new high, soaring to 39.7%. This development reflects the economic conditions in Egypt and their impact on the cost of living. Let's explore North Macedonia, where the consumer price index has surged by 8.3% year-on-year. This increase is driven by significant price hikes in key categories, providing insights into North Macedonia's economic challenges. We turn to the OECD's report on Europe's economic recovery, which highlights the challenges posed by the Russia-Ukraine conflict. This geopolitical conflict has disrupted markets, causing energy and food prices to rise and hindering the post-pandemic recovery. Although coordinated policies have prevented a severe downturn, near-term uncertainty persists. Growth in the region is projected to gradually rise, starting at 0.9% in 2023 and reaching 1.5% in 2024. Meanwhile, inflation is expected to ease from 5.8% to 3.2%, but will remain above the European Central Bank's 2% target. Our next story focuses on the August commodity price report, revealing a surge in energy prices by 7.8%. This increase is primarily driven by a significant 17.8% rise in natural gas prices and 8.5% increase in coal prices. Meanwhile, non-energy prices have experienced a decline of 1.2%. Let's explore Japanese business sentiment, which has shown signs of decline. Manufacturers' sentiment has dropped to +4, while the services sector has slumped to +23 in September. These indicators provide insights into the economic landscape in Japan. And finally, in Estonia, where service exports have witnessed remarkable growth. In the second quarter, service exports soared by 8% to reach 2.9 billion euros, while imports grew by 2%. And these figures underscore the evolving dynamics of Estonia's economy. That wraps up our economy newsletter for today. We covered a wide range of topics. Stay informed and tuned in for more economic news in our upcoming episodes. Thank you for watching and remember to subscribe to our channel for the latest updates.